I'm trying a new technique on this particular book. It's one I'm doing for my granddaughter, and my daughter-in-law said that, I said, what would you like for Christmas? And she said, well, she'd like some school books. I said, what, for Christmas? She said, well, that's what she's using to go to school. And she had these like large writing pads, A4 writing pads. And I said, is it got to be A4? She said, well, that's what they're using. So anyway, I said to Ashley, I said, what sort of book would you like? I said, would you like a hardback or a softback? And she said, I'd like a hardback. So I said, okay. So it doesn't matter really to me what I do, but I've never done this before. And what these are A4 pages, which are, I've got some here, they're just pages from an ordinary book that I've took, and I've just they're just loose pages, and what I've done is I've glued them together on the spine, rubbed the spine with a bit of emery cloth, well, my favourite little bit of emery board again, and I cut grooves in. I think I've got 8 grooves there, 2, 4, 6, 8 grooves, yeah, and it's just enough to take in some of this cheap old string I use. I get this string from, I buy it from, I think it's Tesco's. The Tesco's sell it in the kids sort of department, and I use it for doing spines and doing the things in the spines like that, and odds and ends and things. And I've used it in this to support the spine, so when you open the book has got something to hold on to, so the pages stay in without dropping out. I've never done an A4 before, so I'm quite excited about this really. It's something new. I love things that are new. And what I've done, I've took this from my mentor, who is Sage Reynolds, and he used a saw cut to cut in about 1 millimetre or so down into the paper on the spine, and then I pressed the string into it, looped it in, and once it's all dry, because it's still wet at the moment, I put them all on the back. I'll cut it all back to shape, and then we'll see how we get on from there. So now I've got to work out what sort of back she wants and what sort of thing she wants on a spine, or I've got no idea. But this is a bit of a challenge at the moment. I've got no idea how it's going to turn out. Anyway, I'll stop there and I'll restart in a minute. Well, back again, and all I've done is the back is now dry, spine of the book, and I've just attached a little piece of paper across the back of the spine, just enough to cover the spine, and glued it down, and then it's drying off at the moment, and I've turned it down, and once it's dried off completely, I shall glue the inside of that piece of paper and then tear off the rest. So that will give extra support, and also straighten out all the bumps, so when I put the back on it will look quite smart. So I'll stop there for the minute, and when I finish that I'll take another shot. Well, as usual, I've raced ahead of myself, and I'm useless at this, trying to show people how I do things, but I got so engrossed in it that that I finished it. I can't say it's anything that I'd want to do lots of. It's pepping paper, and it's got a book around back, and it is a perfect bind, and I put a logo on which I found on the net from somewhere, I don't know where it was, but it is just a notebook, and it's got about 200 pages, and I put a nice inside in, and a little bit about the family crest history and things like that. And it's just a notebook. I just flashed it up for my granddaughter, and I didn't even bother to take the holes out because I was so busy trying to make a book. But I don't think she'd be bothered about that. It won't matter to Ashley, I don't think. But it's quite well made, and it won't come apart. I wish they'd stop putting holes in these papers instead of, I mean, I don't even want the lines at the side. I just want the printed lines across the paper. They will put lines in down the side. I don't know why they do that. And holes, great big holes, and you can put them in your bloody cell. But anyway, it's a couple of 100 pages long, and it's got a floppy feel to it, but it does lie flat, and it'll do for school, I suppose. I don't suppose it'll last long. Kids will give it a hard time. And I was just wondering at the moment whether I should put any Babylon on the back to give it a bit more, a longer life. 200 pages should last for a while, because the average book's about 90 odd pages, isn't it? By the time you halve that, it's only 45, isn't it? Well, 47 pages or something, complete pages. Whereas this is, I mean, I do know this is 200 pages, actual pages, not sides, but pages. Anyway, it wasn't hard to make, it wasn't much of a thingy, it was just something new, and I sweated a bit because I was out of my depth, I was out of my field on this. It's amazing how you try something new. Now I know what people that start bookbinding feel like again. It's a bit of trepidation to do something absolutely new, and it's the first time I've done a perfect bind, and I was a bit worried about perfect binds because I've got a glue gun, but I'm not. The girls seem to get away with glue guns quite well, but I can't seem to use them. I forget I've got it, and it's not something I enjoy using anyway. And I suppose it would have done the back of this spine perfectly well. But I did that technique that I got from Sage Reynolds. If I get any ideas from anybody, and I always say who I got them from. I don't try and hide behind the thing and say that I did it. I didn't do any of this. I've learnt all this from the internet. Anyway, I'll stop there, and it looks reasonably well. It's got a relatively solid feel to it. It is a bit floppy-ish, mind you. It is it's 80 GSM pages, 200, and it's only 1mm card. I don't like 1mm card on its own, but I couldn't do a thick book because that would have been too thick for her to carry to school. In here she's got one of these wallets type things, so that might even be too thick at that. So if she doesn't like it, I'll cut it down to 100 pages or less, or whatever she wants. Anyway, no, I know what to do with them, I'm not too bothered. Anyway, I hope she likes that. So that's just another series, another feather in my cap, another type of book I've done. Anyway, I'll stop there and I'll see you.